You're West Coast, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
5:30 for you right now?
Yes, it is correct. That's why the sunshine is just insane. But
Love it. Well, thanks for joining during dinner.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you for having me. Oh, I forgot to ask, what is your go-to coffee?
Um, so if I'm treating myself
Mhm.
to Starbucks, which I shouldn't, but I do, it's a venti iced sugar-free vanilla blonde latte with oat milk.
Mm. I love when a drink is like a nice like dessert. That's why I love bubble
Yes.
tea. Bubble tea, yes, 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 yes,
Yep.
100%. With the pudding, with the lychee jelly, with like a little bit of like with of course the tapioca pearls, and then with the mango popping boba.
Yes.
So good.
We don't have nearly enough bubble tea places here in Michigan. I don't know who I need to talk to get
To the
to
bubble
get more.
tea.
Yeah.
Yes, it's so good.
The
It's
bubble
so
tea
good.
gods, please.
Yeah, yeah,
Send me
yeah.
more bubble tea.
Yes, but
We
let's do
can,
rapid fire. Let's do rapid fire.
okay, yeah. You know what? Every time I'm like still, this is like, you're my fourth, you're my fourth author chat. Like that's it. Um, Still baby. But every time I start the rapid fire, always like we derail, we get into the book, it'll happen. Before we even do that though, we promised everyone we'd talk about Summerween.
Yes, yes, we did.
I think we should because I have a confession.
Hmm.
Um, I didn't even know Summerween was a thing until this year. I thought I was crazy.
Okay.
Um,
All right, all right.
I'm huge. Like Halloween is my favorite. I'm not so much like a jump scare monster
Mm,
person, but I am more of like I like witches. I like lore, ghosties. Um,
yeah.
and so like I would watch Hocus Pocus all year round if I didn't fear being judged.
Hey, Hocus Pocus is great. I love that. Oh my gosh, wait. My favorite lore is I think the cat puppet that they use in Hocus Pocus is the same one that's in Sabrina the Teenage Witch, the series. The
No
same exact
way.
one. Yeah, yeah. There's a crossover. It's a multiverse of that cat puppet. Mhm.
Ollie was almost named Banks, but my husband vetoed it.
Okay, well, Ollie. There could be a middle name in there. Ollie Banks. I see it at first.
Oliver Banks.
Oliver Banks. That sounds great. That's another character from Hocus Pocus right there.
Um, okay, so do you, since I'm new to like the Summerween scene,
Mhm.
um, do you do anything special besides just read spooky books? Or is
Honestly,
Summerween not actually a real thing and it's like just the thing that we say to excuse the fact that we read spooky books all year round?
I mean, when you think about it, what is real?
Yeah, that's a
But
valid.
I think I I just love having an excuse to like do Halloween things no matter the time period. When it's Summerween, my first encounter with Summerween was I haven't finished watching it, but Gravity Falls with like the animated Cryptid series. Um, but I think just like over time, like having really amazing friends who also love Halloween stuff. So like we're talking like pumpkin carving in the middle of July. We're talking, of course, like all season, like looking at like as reading queer all year, reading like
Yeah,
Halloween cool books all year.
yeah,
I think there's always time to just learn more about cryptids. I think it's always the season for it, and for scaring myself reading about cryptids. So, oh, I mean, it's not Summerween, but it's like Summerween adjacent. I mean, the Vampire Lestat series is out right now, and I think that's a great like crossover of like books and media adaptation art and like all that crossover happening during summer. So I think that's a great way to start celebrating Summerween is with complex queer vampires all in very complex relationships with one another with like a gothic glittery soundtrack. It's perfect. I love that series so much. And I love
I love
Interviewing the
it.
Vampire series so much. The adaptation as an art, I really love the direction the series took. Also, I will say that like Queen of the Damned and Aaliyah as Akasha was really, really stellar. And also the soundtrack
Okay,
for Queen of the Damned was also very beautiful.
I'm
Uh,
sure.
But yeah, let me know. Let me know when you keep watching it.
Okay.
Let me know how you're feeling about it.
Yeah, I definitely will.
Yeah.
Um, Now I know that you watch films when you're not writing. What
Yes.
else do you do when you're not writing?
Oh, 100%. I want to start a pollinator garden. Fun fact for being a horror writer is I'm scared of a lot of things. I'm scared of bees. I've gotten stung before. I'm scared of butterflies, but I'm getting over it. I'm
Okay.
getting over it because, um, first of all, pollinator gardens are great, and I think we need to see more bees and butterflies. I think they're just like little wonderful. They're adorable. They're great. They're great for the world. And on top of it, I think I got over being scared of like butterflies. I know. Being scared of butterflies as a horror writer is like the last thing I could say because it's like it's a butterfly. It's a baby. I just don't like the I used to be so scared of the crawling sensation.
But yeah. Yeah, no,
You,
no, that's real.
yeah, that's real.
Like
But
I
the
really
reason
like it when they're flying, don't crawl on me.
they're flying, they're so cute, but then they crawl and it's like, oh. But okay, so I did get over it because there was an injured butterfly, like a bird had bit its wing. I know. And I took in this butterfly and I adopted it for the time just to like take care of it and stuff because it couldn't
Like
fly anymore.
rehabbed it. Oh,
Yeah, and it was it. I called it Butter because it couldn't fly. But it was really, really cute. Loved strawberries, loved fresh strawberries. And I finally
oh,
got over my fear of butterflies because I'm like, I can't be afraid of this like really adorable creature. And I got over it. But yeah, sorry, long tangent to say when I'm not
no.
writing or reading books, definitely trying to build a pollinator garden because I love seeing birds and butterflies now that I'm less afraid. And it's like I'm getting over my fear and being like, you know what? You're not scary. You're awesome. And well, I'm also on this tangent. I'm so sorry.
No, I love it.
Uh,
This is what this is for.
Excellent. I think one of the ways that I think I approach horror writing is I think being able to understand things that you're afraid of makes you a little bit better in writing things that are scary because you understand both sides of the same coin.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, we're gonna segue a tiny bit,
Yeah.
just because questions on top of my brain, um, relevant to phoning fast.
Mm-hmm.
I have so many questions,
Mm-hmm.
so many questions. Um, First of all, absolutely fantastic. I I devoured it. Um, and so little backstory. Am I don't know if you want to call it a rep. I don't know. I'm involved in Lavender PR sends
Mm-hmm.
me like an email every month and it's just like let us know what titles you might be interested in and maybe you'll get a copy. Um, your book was on there and I was just like, this sounds awesome. Um, and they sent me a digital copy and I ate it up. Um, I am not great at like intentionally reading queer books. It just kind of happens. Like I don't go out saying like, "Oh, let me go." Like it, I just pick them up, right? And so I feel like they're really good about calling out like when something is queer, when something is by a person of color, like just intentionally, like read intentionally outside of your comfort zone. Um, but your book was well within my comfort zone because I do it all the time anyway. Um, but I was not expecting the the depth, I guess. Like when I read the description, it was very much like, oh, interesting. Like, you know, um, but it was deep.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it made me sad,
Mm-hmm.
um, but it also made me laugh. It had everything. It had all the things. I haven't read the description recently enough to say anything that won't spoil things. So I'm trying to be careful. Um, but for anyone that's listening right now, if you're looking for a queer horror book that is witty, funny, deep, heartbreaking, um, Phoning Faust is the one.
Mm-hmm.
um, Oh, okay, all that to say, my question, would you consider this horror as just as a genre? Because I don't know. I didn't I obviously it was scary. There were scary parts, right?
Mhm.
But that wasn't like the core of it to me. And I guess I'm just wondering like did I take away the wrong thing from the book?
Mm, yeah, yeah. I don't think. Well, first of all, thank you for sharing. And as you mentioned, shout out to Lavender PR. They're really amazing. Working together with like Carla, Amelia, and Brittany, they're all really, really stellar. And they give me book recommendations all the time that I'm like, I'm so excited to dive into. It's really, really awesome. Um, I mean, working with Lavender PR, thanks to, also working with Lambda Literary, which is a really amazing queer literary organization, it's been life changing. And the community's been so kind, so caring. And I mean, as I mentioned and try to mention as much as possible, I couldn't have written Phoning Faust without community. Like, I couldn't have done it alone. Um, for a lot of reasons as to whether it's horror, I would say that my biggest inspirations are in like queer existential horror. So thinking of media, that's thinking of like in the film world, that's thinking of I Saw the TV Glow with James Schoenbrunn, which is not necessarily horror in terms of like jump scares. Although there are sometimes jump scares, but it's more horror in the term of like trying to navigate, a level of like queer identity, a level of like trans identity, of navigating different structures in a world that is still trying to figure out how you fit inside of it. And sometimes, like in the case of like the film I Saw the TV Glow, it's making your own world out of like a TV show, out of media that really hits you to your core. And in that same way, making Phoning Faust for me was about making a storyline that's really personal, but also like really authentic. And I guess not to spoil what happens, but I think it comes really close to the idea of like making spaces and finding worlds where, you can fully be yourself, whatever that means. So yeah, queer existential horror of like trying to carve out what it means to be in a world where, you're figuring yourself out and at the same time the world's also trying to figure out how you fit inside of it. It's very surreal. I can say without a spoiler that Phoning Faust is very surreal. The conceit of it is in a queer retelling of the play, so Goethe's Faust. And that story is like the log line is that a philosopher, a scholar, very facing things like depression and suicidal ideation, and ends up summoning a devil and making a pact with a devil in order to find redemption. And Phoning Faust, the book, is about a queer mixed Indonesian college student also fighting depression and suicidal ideation who calls a crisis hotline, accidentally presses 666, and summons a devil who isn't the devil but is an agent of like a larger like devil organization. But a lot of it is just honestly, it's also written from my own experience. I have to say that like facing like isolation of not even knowing how to navigate like being a mixed queer Indonesian person, not meeting another queer Indonesian person until I was in my 20s, like facing the isolation of not having community. I have to say that crisis hotlines like the Trevor Project, like a lot of the LGBT plus crisis hotlines that are unfortunately like facing funding cuts and like not being able to, get the resources and support they need in order to help queer youth. That because of those hotlines and because of like Dion Faust in the book calling a hotline when she needs help. Similarly, I have to say that like calling those hotlines and that having those, the people on those hotlines on the other end to pick up when I needed them was like they helped me be here today. And so I couldn't have written this book alone. And I couldn't have like healed from, trying to find community and to find other people who kind of understood what I was going through without finding people who I cared about. Which goes to say that I'm like very grateful for, I'm grateful to you. Thank you for like hosting this conversation. I'm grateful for
Yeah.
all the amazing like community members both online and offline who are like very kind. And because of that, like I am here today and I'm still telling stories. So I send like so much love because it's a it's a hard world out there, but I think in sending out more care and kindness that we try to make it a little bit better every day.
Um, it's no secret that like my goal obviously is to support authors and lift you guys up so that you can tell your stories because your stories are important. And um, I read for fun and I read to escape, but I also read to get other perspectives. And I consider myself an ally. Um, I I guess let's let's use this platform. How 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 can we support not just you as an author, but just the queer community in general? What can we do?
I would say honestly, just getting involved with. I always like to say that like the amazing people doing on the ground like community care, community empathy, community kindness, and activism are like your neighbors. So when that's the local, whether that's a local LGBT plus shelter in your area, whether that's local community members who are like helping at risk queer youth, whether that's just like even to go so close as to say like queer family members, queer neighbors, queer friends. It's just as small a gesture as like reaching out and asking how somebody's doing who might be facing a lot of like bigotry or just might be having a hard time for whatever reason. It's just good to reach out and say hi. I think there's a lot that goes to say and just like being there to support other people. And I mean, like as you're doing right now, like having a platform to like to empathize with other stories that you might not be familiar with, whether that's like across any intersection of identity. I think it's really, really, in my experience, I discovered a lot of my own queer identity in like going to BIPOC punk spaces. And I think one of the greatest things that they taught me was that the most punk rock thing there is to be kind. And just being extremely empathetic, kind, and always offering to help somebody, whether on like a local or national or international level. It's just like whatever act of kindness you can do to keep showing up and to keep doing it when you can. So that's really great.
I thank you.
Yeah.
Um, it's like I'm like kind of like speechless because obviously like this went off in the best possible direction. Um, I just I don't know what to say. I just wish I don't know. I wish I could scream it from the rooftops that like, it's 2026. Why do you care? Let people live. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it still really really bothers me that we are living in a world where some people don't feel comfortable being themselves. That bugs me. Um, so hopefully we can partner to help change the world.
100%. And I think it always starts with, I think one of the things that can feel most overwhelming is when everything is hitting at once, when it feels impossible. I think forces that like necessarily want to spread hatred or bigotry, they want you to feel like it's impossible. Like why even bother trying? And I think like just taking any step that feels possible to do and to do consistently. So whether that is genuinely just like reaching out to like a queer person in your life or a person who has like who is just going through a very hard time and just saying like, hey, how are you doing? I think just showing up in ways that might feel quote unquote like small or little, they're not small or little because they build up. And like in gaining momentum of like trying to spread awareness of like maybe a local like queer shelter is like doing a fundraiser or trying to spread awareness and like in like in accessibility of like um, resources to offer, just like trying to spread awareness as much as possible, as long as you can do it consistently and like realize that we're all in community with one another. I think it's really really cool to do, and I think I don't know. Again, like building community, whatever that space is, whether that's offline, online, your local favorite coffee shop, your local favorite library, I think is really, really great. Shout out to librarians for
Yes,
having like the coolest spaces ever. Yeah.
absolutely. Your voice impacted me. I'm going to continue to hopefully get it to impact others. What's next? Because obviously, phoning Faust is not the end, it's just the beginning. What are you working on now? And where are you in that process?
Yeah. So, I mean, in terms of filmmaking, I'm always going to be writing more like authentically queer surrealist stories. In terms of books, I am going to be publishing a, a romantic fantasy YA book. That's going to be called They Them Bidadari, and that's going to be published with Nine Star Press, coming out in 2027. We're currently working on the cover art with really amazing artists, so I can't wait to reveal what that cover is because it's oh my god, it's so beautiful. I'm really excited to share more about it. It's based on like a lot of the fairy tales that my family told me growing up. So that's like Indonesian mythology, but also in a dark academia YA romance twist, which I think is super
Oh
fun.
my,
And then aside from
give
that,
it
I
to
am
me
also
now.
wait. What's I know. I like genuinely. I have to refrain. I'm like, oh, why can't it be tomorrow? But it's like it's okay. Enjoy every step of the process.
Yes,
Enjoy every day, every second, every minute. It's easy to forget.
I will
Um,
enjoy the anticipation that I am feeling right now. Got it.
it takes
Understood.
patience, but it always builds. So I'm always excited for it. And then a sapphic paranormal novella that is also going to be coming out in the future, alongside like another queer horror book. But I'm gonna anticipation. Trying to
Okay.
build up. There might be an anthology that'll come a little bit sooner. Working on
Okay.
putting that together right now.
Okay.
And that's a bunch of little snippets of just like little like monster stuff. I've been doing research. Sorry, it goes back to cryptids. It
We
all
know
goes
I'm
back
really
to
excited.
cryptids. Literally, I'm like very excited about cryptids.
Yes.
Um, but like I've been doing research on cryptids and I've been scaring myself. Like the worst time to be doing research on like
It's
scary
3 a.m.
monster lore is like when it's like midnight and I'm like, oh, this is a horrible idea to be doing this now. Because it's like so much of this monster lore is like, and then they arrive at night and I'm like, oh, so like now.
It's nighttime
Uh,
here.
yeah, yeah. But again, like I think one of the reasons that I like to gravitate towards horror or horror adjacent or goth adjacent spaces or just like anything to do with like the scary fairy tales that I grew up on. Um, I think it's because I like I know I'm a scaredy cat, but I think there's a lot to writing horror and liking horror, but also being a scaredy cat. Like it's the two, it's the scale, it's the
Yes.
balance. Like
No, it's totally fair.
like Sarah, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna go on a little bit of like a story time tangent right now, but
Please,
oh my
please, all
god,
of the
I
tangents.
earliest Halloween memory that did take place in Halloween. I'm sorry, it wasn't Summerween, but it was Halloween.
Fair.
Um, I dressed up as Clifford the Big Red Dog as a toddler, and
Are there
I went.
pictures and can I have
Yeah, I
them?
need to find the pictures. I need to now go into the physical scrapbook and look.
Yes.
But I dressed up as Clifford the Big Red Dog and I went into a haunted house. I think this was like before I had gained sentience because I didn't realize you're supposed to be scared of haunted houses yet. So all
Okay.
my friends had run screaming from like this killer clown that was in the haunted house. I remember this very vividly. Like this is a real memory. And there was this like killer clown. It could have been a real clown. I don't know. But it was a killer clown in the haunted house who was like sitting on this massive throne. And all my friends ditched me. All my friends ditched toddler me. And I was just sitting there because they were running screaming, like people with sense. And me being an insensible toddler in a Clifford costume, I was like, new friend. So I was like, just like enthusiastically waving at this killer clown. And the killer clown had a chainsaw and was just like, what is this? Like, I'd imagine it's this
Like,
scare
what do
actor's
you
like
do?
worst nightmare is to be trapped in this haunted house with like a Clifford toddler. Like, what are you doing, child? I do not remember how the rest of that went. I think I got like a lot of candy and stuff, and I think the clown was like, please just like go join your other friends. And I did eventually. But I do remember that as being like that was an interesting Halloween story. It's why I still love scare actors in haunted houses. Like shout out to them for being really cool.
Well, okay, so now I get my tangent story time.
Okay, okay, I'm ready.
Um,
I'm ready.
I had the opposite experience. I really hope my dad watches this right now. Um, because it heavily involves him. So I was probably 12,
Mm-hmm.
12 or 13, right? And um, colored mascara was all the rage.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and we thought we were so cool. Me and my best friend Sam and my little sister, and we've got green mascara on, and like we are like, oh yeah, we're so cool. We're gonna go to this haunted house. Like, can't drive, so my dad's gonna take us, but it's gonna be great. Like, we're so cool. Um, and we didn't even get to the haunted house. Like, before you get to the haunted house, you have to like walk through like the haunted woods, and it's got like this Snow White type tree,
Mm-hmm.
scary people.
Oh my goodness.
And
Not the
um
trees, not the
no,
scare
the
actors in.
trees.
There's,
Yeah.
there is no rest. There is no rest.
No, no. Um, and like we literally made it halfway through this like wooded area, tears running down our faces. My dad had to find one of the scare actors and beg him to let us out. And like, and
No.
this person wouldn't break character. So
They
they
were
kept
dedicated to the
like
craft.
literally, I'm standing there. There's green mascara running down my face. I'm sobbing like a baby. And this scary tree dude is like, "Urgh." And just my dad's like, dude, come on. Like, I've got three preteen girls sobbing green mascara. Can you please let us out? And so we end up getting taken to another area. And then for whatever reason, there's a cop, and the cop escorts us like out the back. But in order to get out, we have to walk through like the last like barn, right?
Not
It's a
another barn.
barn. Yeah, barn, jump scare, murdery scarecrow dude. And so the cop walks in and's like, dude, chill, don't do the thing. I've got I've got some coming through. And so like we walk through and the guy's like, hey guys, have a great night. Like,
Finally breaking character, just being like, it's okay. Like,
this is
it's
so
fine.
embarrassing. Cop has to escort us out of the haunted whatever.
Oh my
I've never been
goodness.
to one since. I was scarred.
I don't wait. That's oh my goodness. That's but like here's the like honestly though the green mascara sounds like it could be a look though. Like even with the like I apologize, crying is never fun. It's not a good
Yeah.
time. But like it
I
could
wish there
you
were
could have been like
pictures of
this
that.
part of it. Sorry,
Yeah.
one more time.
I should I should see if there are pictures of that, and we can like splice together a picture with me and my green mascara running and you in your Clifford costume and like make a really cute collage of our haunted house experiences.
Perfect. I'm ready. I gotta look in the scrapbooks. I gotta look in those. I feel convinced I'm gonna buy green mascara now in honor of
No, you should.
I
You
think it's a really good
100%
look.
should.
Yeah, yeah.
It's totally a thing. And it's coming back too. The
Yes.
colored mascara, it's making a comeback. Haunted houses, you've been fine with them since you were Clifford. Um,
No. So I
so
gained
that was before you
sentience.
realized you could be scared. Okay,
I gained
and now you're
sentience.
scared.
Yeah, yeah,
Got
yeah.
it.
And then I got scared somewhere around gaining sentience. And then I
Yeah.
got less scared. I only stopped being scared recently, to be honest. I
Okay.
think it took me like a decade after gaining sentience. It took me about a decade afterwards, and I was like, oh, this isn't so bad, actually. Haunted houses are cool. But in between, like, not gaining sentience and then gaining sentience, there was a decade of me crying my way out of not wearing
Okay.
green mascara, but I was
Okay.
crying my way out of every single haunted house. Like,
Okay.
I remember
So I'm not alone.
yeah, yeah. I remember crying my way out of like there was like a funhouse mirror. I remember the ones I cried my way out of. There was a funhouse haunted mirror, haunted house. It was like a haunted Boardwalk.
Yep.
Cried
Yeah,
my
yeah,
way out
yeah.
of that one. Cried my way through even like a high school one where it's just like you're a teenager, everyone else is teenagers. I was so afraid that I hid my like face in like the front of the person who was like in front of my friend basically, and I refused to look the whole time. So my like, poor friend had to like lead me through the haunted house. I refused to look up like the whole time, and you know, yeah, I was not. But now I lead my way through the haunted houses for my
You're the
friends.
leader.
So you know, it just took a decade.
Okay, I need to know if this is weird. Looking at things only scares me if it's in conjunction with spooky sounds.
Okay. Yeah.
So, like when I'm watching a horror movie,
Mhm.
I can watch as long as I cover my ears. Is that weird?
No.
Okay.
Like 100%. Like sometimes the sound design is too good. When
Yes.
they like squelch.
Yes. Yeah, no,
I'm like,
yeah, I
this
know.
is
Yeah.
awful. Do you know what else I've noticed? I've talked with friends who are like talking about like scary movies we talk about, and we're like, we've noticed lately there's a lot of like horror movies where for some reason like people are possessed and then they kind of like smash their face into things. There's like at least
Yes.
one of those scenes in like every single horror movie lately. I think we're all just scared of like breaking your nose, which is a valid fear.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I'm very much over that. You know what? I mentioned earlier, like, I'm not like a big, like, Freddy, Jason, but the possession movies,
Mm,
those ones get me.
it's
Yeah.
the
No,
sound
I'm
effects.
good.
It's the sound effects. I can either like
Yeah.
see the scary thing happening or I can like just hear it, but either one is like when it's all together, it's too much. They did too
Yeah.
good a job. They're too dedicated to their roles. They're like that tree that chased you. I apologize.
Yes.
But they're too dedicated. I'm like, I can't look at this.
Yes.
You're doing too good a job. You're doing great, but like I
Like,
can't.
props to the sound engineers. Well done. You got me.
You did too.
Um, okay, so all your stuff is spooky-ish, spooky adjacent. Um, Ash wants to know, but I also want to know, um, do you like go to spooky places to get in the writing mood?
Do I go to spooky places?
Like cemeteries, like do you get like, you know what I mean? Like some people are just like, oh, let me get some spooky energy from this place and put it on the paper.
Not by choice.
Okay.
I do end up there somehow, but like it's never I'm not I am in a horror movie, like I'm not the character who's like, let's go to the creepy like fairground or something. I'm like the character who's like, yeah, why do we have to go to the creepy
Yeah.
fairground? But I still end up going.
Right. Okay.
Um
I know exactly which character you are.
yeah, but I would say, like, just remember, like, last time, I apologize to any ghosts that I am in the vicinity of because you never know. So I was raised to apologize to any spirits all the time. And so, like, if you know that some place is haunted, you apologize because you're in their, like, house. And,
Yeah, you're in their
like,
space.
that's their space. And it's like, you're kind of in their space. And so, whenever I know a place is haunted, I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I apologize. It doesn't always work. There was one time, let me think, because there have been multiple instances of me being in haunted spaces, but there was one time we were location scouting for a film and we were in a place that used to be a creepy traveling circus in the 70s. Multiple things were wrong during this location scout. We're going through this space, and the person leading us is like, "Oh, so the last owners of this place died. Sometimes they visit." And I'm like, "What do you mean they
No.
visit? Like, could you tell me more about that? Are they friendly?" And then he just goes, "Ah," and keeps going. I'm like, we're not gonna make it out of here.
The
And
ghosts are
then on top
coming.
of that, there's a cabin in this location, and in the cabin you have to like climb up a ladder. I don't know how I made it out of this one, but you have to climb up a ladder, and then there's like a creepy portrait of something that looked demonic on the wall. And then we kept going around this little area, and like the our guide is just like, oh yeah, you know, sometimes we film a lot of horror movies around here.
Okay.
And then we finally leave the place, And the person who's helping me like figure out like permits and stuff to shoot in this location, like files a permit, finds out two very disturbing facts. One disturbing fact is this location was minutes away from like a Manson murder. Second fact is that this place ended up like for multiple reasons, just like it got busted for something else, and like just it was not a good location. But I think about that often. I'm like, so you're telling me this location, there used to be a traveling circus in the 70s. Like they had pictures of like a bear on a tightrope, which like that poor bear.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
there, I'm just like this location felt so haunted. Oh, and on top of that, of course, because it wouldn't be a horror movie without it. No cell phone signal, but only
of
in that
course not.
exact location. And I was like, okay, so you're telling me the past owners are dead. You don't know if they're friendly. They visit sometimes. Oh, did I mention there was somebody named like Tom or Bradley or something who made little like Blair Witch style
The
wire
stick dolls?
statues
No.
just in random locations. And we were like, what, why is Timothy or whoever this is, why is Timothy making these? And it's just like, Timothy does that sometimes. Just keeps going. I'm like, why are you so determined to leave us in this haunted circus, demon painting on the wall, wooden cabins, no cell phone signal, Manson murder happened down the street? Like, what? I still don't know, but I genuinely think sometimes I'm like, I can't believe that happened. And then I just keep going. It'll end up in a story eventually. It's fine. It's just
I
research.
was
I
gonna
made it.
say that feels like very inspirational. Like that should be a story, and I want to read it.
I need to start journaling. Like, I really
Yes,
do. I just need to
yes,
remember these things. I need to
yeah.
know. Oh my
Just like
goodness.
voice to text and then compile it all one day.
That sounds like the thing you find in horror video games. Like you just hear these little like journal. They're like, and the creature got out again, and you're like, what creature? Why?
Like
What?
what?
Who
Why?
made the creature? Why? It's. I
Um,
can't even get
I
mad at I can't get mad at the horror movie characters who like end up in the haunted situation because I'm like I
you're
get
one
it.
of
It
them.
happens. It
Yeah.
happens sometimes. I just
Okay, other thing that super freaks me out, and I'm thinking my son is literally sitting like right there. But it just made me think of something I'm terrified of Poppy Playtime or Poppy's Playhouse
what is it?
or oh no. Okay, you're gonna have to go Google this after
No.
you're
Okay.
but you're gonna be into it though because um there's lots of lore. Like I need a good backstory. Like that's what scares me, right? Like the
Just the
history
backstory.
of the thing. Um, and so like it really needs to like I don't know. I get invested in like all these tortured characters.
Mm.
But they're toys
Mm.
and creepy creepy possessed toys freak me out. That's my other thing that
I
scares
think
me.
that's valid. I think it's in like the eyes of the creepy possessed toys.
Yes.
It's the
Yeah.
eyes. I
Yeah.
feel you. I feel you. I understand. I too,
Um,
as a writer, as a reader, as a person, I think the scariest thing you can have is a backstory.
yes.
Like,
I mean it's
100%.
true,
Yeah.
right? Like the backstory makes the characters who they are. So the
I'm
more
determined. I'm not
torture,
going to get scared of anything. It needs a Wikipedia page first, okay? And then I'll be terrified. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's so true. Like I'm not gonna be scared of you unless I find out about your traumatic childhood, then I'll probably be terrified.
I need the lore. Mhm, mhm.
Speaking of lore, have you ever listened to the podcast Lore?
No, what is
Aaron
it?
Mankey? Oh
No,
my
what is it?
gosh. It's old. I mean, not super old, but like I used to listen to it to fall asleep and it really is just like it's lore. That's what it is. Like
Mm.
stuff about changelings and hauntings and the women in white, like all of
Mm.
those, like the lore. It's a great podcast. I had to stop listening to it before bed though, because
Because it felt a little too haunting. I feel you.
why do we do this to ourselves? Why do we like being scared? Do you
Because
know
it's
why?
like, it's fun when you, yeah. It is
Really,
fun.
like
I mean,
is it just because like do we like we want to feel something?
a
I just
little
always
bit.
wonder like why. why are we, because lots of people are into it. Like, I mean, those movies exist for a reason, the books exist for a reason. Like, people like being scared.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
don't
it's
know.
kind of
That
like
was my
why do you
thing.
like why do people like scary rides or roller coasters? It like draws you into like a sensation or a feeling, and like there's a lot of different genres that do it. So like romance, like you read romance to like fall in love with the characters. You read horror to be a little bit creeped out and scared, or really scared. You read like different genres to like feel comedy to laugh. You know, I think
Yeah.
I think one of the greatest compliments of like writing something is that somebody came away with a strong feeling. Ideally, it's a good feeling. I can't control that, unfortunately, but ideally, like one of the it's somebody reads something you make or somebody watches something you make or experiences something you make and they come away with like feeling. I think is something that's like really it's really important. It's profound and it's really really cool for that to happen.
You stole my thunder.
Sorry.
I was actually gonna sort of close us out just because I want to be respectful of your time. What is to you, obviously coming away with feeling, but what to you would be the biggest compliment you could get from a reader?
That they I mean ideally I feel like I always just want a reader to come away with something. It doesn't necessarily I think and I have to get better about this. I know I'm an oversensitive soul, but like I do have to get better about this because I truly do believe in it. I believe that like when you make something, that somebody is going to experience it very differently to how you made something. And like that's not something that I control anymore. Like when I make the thing and it's out there in the world, people are going to experience it differently based on their own backstories, based on their own experiences, based on like somebody can see like a star and think it's the most beautiful thing, or somebody else can see a star and think it's like terrifying because space is scary. I think when something's, I make it and I make it with what I know my intentions are, and I make it with what I know that I hope that others come away with. But I think the only thing I can hope for is that people come away with their own ideas from it and that people, whether that's like inspiration or like making their own things, I know that I'm always going to advocate for there being more stories in the world than less. I don't think there can be any one story that tells anything. I think we're all making our own stories all the time, and I think that's beautiful. And that's why I'll always say that I really want storytelling to be more accessible because I think there should be more in the world with everyone's really cool, unique voice. So yeah, storytelling community, it's all very beautiful to me, and it's something I'll always love about storytelling as a craft.
I love that. And I can't wait to read more from you. Phoning Faust
Mhm.
ended in a way that left the reader to decide what was actually going on, right?
Mhm.
Um, I don't want you to tell me, but I do need to know if in your heart of hearts, if it ended a certain way, or did you also end it there where it could go either way? I'm like trying to like be sly, but I guess
It's
like, did you want the readers to lean in one direction or another? Or was the whole point like you get to make up your mind?
as much as I always want to say that, like, no, and 100%, everybody, please come away with your own conclusions and everything. But will I say that my intention and in my mind, I think the story has a very happy and hopeful ending, and I think definitely that's what I felt in writing it. I can't promise everyone's going to come away with that feeling, but I certainly hope, and I know that in my mind, as I wrote it, I I definitely felt it ended on a note of hope because I think
Okay.
we all need hope. We all do.
Yeah, no,
um,
absolutely. Um, and I did come away with that. The story overall was very fun. But like I said, I was also heartbroken. And then I did. It ended with hope, and that's the ending that I chose. I know that like there are going to people that don't end that way, and that's okay. But I wanted to know, I guess, what your intentions were because I loved it. I wanted to make sure that we were on the same page.
Yes, I mean 100%. I always will say that. I think always ending on a note of hope. That's always what I aim for. Because I think it's what gets everyone to wake up in the morning is hope. So sending hope, messages of hope
All of
and
the hope.
kindness to everybody because we all need it more.
Well, thank you so much for coming to spill the ink with me.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so Green Mascara, lore podcasts, many cool stories that I need to read, need to watch, need to experience. Okay.
It was fantastic talking to you. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I'll talk to you later.
Of course. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.